Joel promised us that would definitely fall under 10 minutes. And Joel has asked that we simulate. He's going to be speaking in front of 200 people at a basketball court in New Orleans. And he asked us to simulate as close to possible. So imagine this is a group of 200 people in New Orleans at this basketball court. And we are all potential infinite possibilities trainers. And Joel's going to share the baby steps of his journey from new trainer in 2017 to trailblazer and what he did to feel the fear and do it anyway. Joel is a prosperity coach, identifying and overcoming roadblocks to your financial freedom. He became a certified IP trainer last year. He published a bestseller, Mindful Money Management, in February. Previously, Joel managed his own hedge fund, Soar Lamore Capital, a 20-year dream he had. He also worked at Citigroup, where he managed a $700 million hedge fund. He generated positive returns, including in 2008, when the market collapsed 40%. He's an actuary and a CFA. Today, he'll be sharing with us how he overcame fears and acted as if to become a trainer and prosperity coach. Welcome, Joel.
Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, everybody, for making this day possible. I'm so grateful for everybody here today and for everybody who's not here today. Thank you so much. I was 12 years old. I was on stage at Umpqua Elementary School, Massapequa, Long Island, New York. It was my 6th grade play. And it came time for me to say my lines, and I froze. For what seemed like 30 minutes. Finally, thank God, they passed over me. And no one else remembered those few seconds except for me for what was 40 years. What's your biggest fear? Think about it. What are you most afraid of? Napoleon Hill, in my favorite book, Think and Grow Rich, sorry, Mike, my second favorite book, Think and Grow Rich, enumerates humans' 6 biggest fears. Fear of criticism, fear of old age, fear of ill health, fear of poverty, fear of the loss of someone you love, and fear of death. Now, most humans will tell you fear of death is number 1, but I will tell you Napoleon Hill completely missed one fear. Fear of public speaking. That was my biggest fear the last 40 years. Death, I knew a long time ago death was a new beginning, not an end. So what's your biggest fear? And what baby steps can you take to overcome it? Let me tell you my story. It's July 2016. I'm having a conversation with this woman I know who's a health coach. Because I had made a big decision in December 2015 to shut down my hedge fund because I had figured out my true purpose in life. No, it may sound like a cliche, but it's true. I had decided, after an aha moment in this course, to become a prosperity coach, to help people become financially free so they don't have to work if they don't want to. So I'm on the phone with Kiersey. It's July 2016, and I'm picking her brain, asking her how she's getting clients, asking her all these questions. And that conversation becomes a life-changing moment in itself. Because at the end of the conversation, Kiersey says to me, Joel, am I going to see you in October? I said, why, Kiersey? She says, because Playing the Matrix is coming to New York. Playing the what? She said, you don't get notes from the universe? I said, no, I don't get notes from the universe. She says, you don't know Mike Dooley? Mr. Universe? And I said, no, I don't know Mike Dooley. But this picture was going around in my head. So Kiersey's trustworthy. I don't do any research. I go to Playing the Matrix in Rhinebeck, New York at the Omega Institute. And a few things happen there. Now one, you already heard from Regina that I'm an actuary. Well, Mike talked about how he started his career at Pricewaterhouse as an accountant. You guys know the difference between an accountant and an actuary, right? An actuary looks at his feet when he talks to you, an accountant looks at your feet. They say an accountant is an actuary with charisma. So that's the first thing we had in common. The second thing was Mike starts talking about his first book, Infinite Possibilities. And chapter 1, thoughts become things. And I got chills because my email signature from 2013 through 2016 was this. And you see at the bottom, thoughts are things. Thoughts are things, thoughts become things. We had 2 things in common. No, we had 3 things in common. You've heard about Mike being in The Secret, being in the DVD and actually being quoted in The Secret. Thoughts become things. Well, The Secret changed my life too. In February of 2008, I'm reading The Secret and there's this passage that really resonates with me. It talks about this guy who thought about this feather. And every morning he woke up, he thought about this feather. And every night before he went to sleep, he thought about this feather. Day after day, week after week. And one day he's walking down the street. He looks down and he sees the exact feather on the sidewalk that he thought about in his head. A thought had become a thing. And then it said, you try. So I don't know why, the first thing that popped into my head was cotton balls. Pure white cotton balls. So every morning I woke up in February 2008, I thought about cotton balls. And every night before I went to sleep, I thought about cotton balls. February, March, April. Now in New York, in April it got warm enough that I was able to start going jogging again with my daughters, Lauren and Morgan, who were 2 and 4 at the time. We'd get in a double jogging stroller, and I go jog around this track by my house, and then we'd get to this park, I'd run up the hill, we'd get to this playground, and I'd get them out of the stroller, it'd be my break. I'd push them on the swings, push them down the slide, we'd get back into the stroller, and we'd jog home. It was May 31st, 2008. And I get to the track, I run around that track a couple of times. We get to the playground, I run up the hill in the park, I get to the playground, and I'm bending down, I'm getting them out of the stroller, and I look down, and I saw all over the park hundreds of cotton balls. A thought had become a thing, and The Secret had changed my life too. So playing the Matrix was awesome for me. Mike talked about acting as if and visualizing. And so at the end of the course, I jumped up on stage and I pretended to be speaking to a large group of people, kind of like I am here today. I acted as if. And what other baby steps did I take? Mike talked about early in his career becoming a Toastmaster, so I joined. I've now given over 25 speeches in and out of Toastmasters. And in fact, the most important one I gave last year in March was at my daughter Lauren's Bas Mitzvah. It was 17 minutes long, and I didn't have to use my notes, which I carried with me for the last 40 years every time I gave a speech. Had every single thing written down, just in case I froze. So I came home from Train the Trainer last year. I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I took some more baby steps. I saw that there wasn't an Infinite Possibilities training on meetup.com. So I set one up. And there's now more than 100 members in my Infinite Possibilities training. And in your workbook, you'll see 3 guys who are technologically savvy. I called up each of them, and Appio Hunter graciously agreed to help me set up my website. He did more for less, barely charged me any money. He may be the most gracious hippie I know. And now I have a website, solomore.com, named after my daughters, as is my company, Lauren and Morgan, in which you can sign up for an Introduction to Infinite Possibilities. You can sign up for a full-day course. You can even sign up for 4 weeks, 1.5 hours each, and pay online. You can do this. You are the allower of the good that you long time ago created. And it is high time that you allowed the good that you long time ago created to manifest into your life. I believe in you. Thank you.